Relationship advice. About to end a relationship over food. I'm 26 female, not sure what to do. My partner 26 male won't cook for himself. Our 2-year anniversary is coming up, and almost everything feels perfect, except food is tearing us apart. In the time we have been dating, I don't think he has ever gone grocery shopping by himself. He will join me sometimes, but it has to be perfect. Perfect time of the day, has to be the weekend, and other BS. The only things I ever see him eat are takeout, snacks you can get at a gas station, or meals I have prepared. More recently, his bad food habits are catching up to me. I'm gaining weight, and I've never felt more uncomfortable in my skin. As a result, I am meal prepping somewhat. I'll typically make a large healthy stew that will last me through the week. I'll also keep fruits and veggies to add variety to my meals. My partner hates it. He doesn't like barely any vegetables and won't eat my stew. Not my problem, right? Wrong. He'll huff puff moan and groan about how hungry he is, and how there's no food in the house, and how he's too tired to go through a drive-thru. I have a hard time not seeing the behavior is absolutely pathetic. The times that we try going to the grocery store are a nightmare. He wants every type of junk food on the shelves, but not 1 ounce of real food. I'll try to explain he doesn't like just eating junk, and it makes him cranky, but he'll insist that it's what he wants. I'll try getting stuff we both kinda like, but then it ends with me slaving away in the kitchen to prepare a meal for us. Never as healthy as I would like, just for him to pick and not eat it because it didn't turn out how I'd expect. Now, I'm going to the gym after work, and I'll get home and he'll tell me how hungry he is, and how he's been waiting for me to get home from work so we can eat together. He ends his workday 4 hours before mine, and he can't bother to feed himself. He doesn't want to eat with me. He's lazy and couldn't be bothered to prepare himself a meal. I don't know what to do. Food gives me anxiety. I can't make myself a freaking sandwich without him expecting me to make him too. I've eaten in the bathroom to escape him, because when he sees me eating when he's hungry, he gets mad and we fight. I have absolutely no patience at this point, and have told him straight up his hunger is not my problem, multiple times, and nothing changes. Am I really about to break up over this? Now for the top advice. It's not about the food. Don't frame it like that for yourself or for others. It's not a silly, trivial issue. It's about needing a functional adult as a partner, rather than a child you have to mother the rest of your life. The issue would be the same if he refused to clean up after himself, do laundry, etc. Why would you want to be with someone who sees you as his personal chef, and who doesn't support the healthy life you want to lead? This is spot on. This is not an issue about food at all. OP, you're dating a child. Only you can decide if you're willing to be a mother to a grown adult. I low-key needed to hear this too. I have absolutely no patience at this point and have told him straight up his hunger is not my problem. Well, so follow through on that. He's made it clear he doesn't want to eat what you eat, so from now on, he's responsible for his own meals. If he wants to complain about that, he's the one who can go elsewhere, because you are not letting him interrupt your dinner with his food issues. And if you have to repeat this one too many times, then yes, it is time to end this. Because it's not really about food. It's about him not taking responsibility for his own problems and hang-ups instead of forcing them on you, and not listening when you tell him you've had enough of that. This 100%. He'll huff puff moan and groan about how hungry he is, and how there's no food in the house, and how he's too tired to go through a drive-thru. I have a hard time not seeing the behavior is absolutely pathetic. Because it absolutely is. What was your partner doing to feed himself before you were around? Probably being fed by his mother. You'd be surprised how many dudes go straight from their mom's house to a girlfriend's because they need a maid, slash cook, slash personal assistant, and refuse to do it for themselves. Now for the next story. My husband doesn't want me. Me, female 30, and my husband, male 49, have been married for 7 years and have 2 kids together, 4 years and 10 months. Last time we had intercourse was over a year ago. When I was pregnant, I wanted intimacy a lot, but he always found an excuse. And I started to feel self-conscious about my pregnant body and kind of embarrassed for feeling turned on. But I thought maybe it's normal for husband not wanting a pregnant wife. After baby was born, I of course was not in the mood for it for several months. But now I feel better and I want love for my husband. But he still doesn't want me. Every time I try to be sexy around him, turn him on, he shuts me off. All of a sudden, he says he doesn't like kissing, and he wouldn't even cuddle with me on a sofa while he's watching TV, his favorite thing to do. He says it's not comfortable for him to relax when someone is hovering over him like that. I look good, I know I do. Even after 2 kids, my body's in a good shape. I work out almost every day. I know there are men who find me attractive, but apparently my husband is not one of them. I did talk with him about it numerous times. He says he's tired. He does work a lot, and his eating and sleeping habits are not great. He did admit he self-pleasures from time to time. I don't know if he watches adult movies or just fantasizes about something or someone. I really think sometimes he has someone else. He started traveling a lot for work for a couple of days every month. I also caught him creating a fake Instagram account. He said he wanted to find some old schoolmate, but didn't want to reveal his identity in social media. It just was so cheesy to me. He is also very possessive of his phone and wouldn't even let me hold it when he shows me something on it. I just don't get it. Is it because we have little kids? And it's stressful. Caring of babies definitely took a toll on us. Or maybe because he witnessed me birthing our second one in great pain? I didn't have an epidural with my second, and it was quite traumatic. My husband was previously married and divorced because of him cheating. People don't change, maybe? I don't know. I feel very lonely. I desperately want attention. My husband works from home, but I barely see him. He is in his home office all day and evening. We don't do anything together. He doesn't want to go out. He says because of COVID, but I feel like it's just an excuse. I am sorry for a long post. I just have so much on my mind. I can't imagine if I have to live the rest of my life like that, with no love, affection, attention that I crave so much. Now for the top advice. Fake Instagram account. His reason, it just was so cheesy to me. Red flag. He is also very possessive of his phone and wouldn't even let me hold it when he shows me something on it. Second red flag. My husband was previously married and divorced because of him cheating. Third red flag. I think you have your answer. I'm sorry that it is an unhappy one. It looks like you're just going to be another person in a long line of people he has screwed over, literally and figuratively. Also, she was 23 and he was 42 when they started dating. She was 23 and he was 42 when they got married. She was even younger when they started dating. This feels like cheating. I don't want to scare you, but my mind did go there first. I would confront him. He is your partner, and he is being cruel to you. I've confronted him many times. Of course he denies. I told him even if he doesn't love me anymore and wants to be with someone else, he should be honest so we both still have a chance for happiness. But he already has 1 child support payments for his previous marriage. I guess he doesn't want another one. Sounds to me like he's looking for a new 20-something. Sorry. She isn't 21 any longer. Now for the last story. Updated. My boyfriend, 19 male, broke up with me, 17 female, over an anime crush. Original post. Got into a huge argument yesterday about some things and what we need to fix, etc. I told him I really like to read fan fiction, and anime characters are basically my escape from reality. I know the difference between reality and fiction, so why is it an issue? I received several texts while I was sleeping, since he works the night shift, saying he asked people at his job about if it's okay, etc., and telling me they're saying it's not. Also sent me someone's Reddit post about their husband being obsessed with a character. The difference with me is that I'm not obsessed at all. He then proceeded to Google about it, saying people who have crush on cartoon character are mentally ill. He also said stuff like, those characters aren't gonna be the ones that love you. Like, I literally know that. I already told him I know reality separates from fiction. Then sent me these texts saying, 1. Your family and lover aren't supposed to come second to no one. No one. 2. Why should your happiness have to crush me when there are so many other things that can make you happy? 3. I have many hobbies that makes me happy, and not a single one gets in the way of our relationship, so you need to realize what you are doing is wrong. 4. Just think of it like this. If your kids was on the line, would you stop or just let them go? You would stop, right? Because you actually love your kids unconditionally. Unlike me, where I always have to provide something to make you happy and love me. 5. I talked to this old lady named Karen about it, and she said, Don't let a girl tell you she loves you if she can't adapt to the way you want to be loved. Because if you go to a doctor and ask for medicine and they give you the wrong one, are they helping you or making it worse? He then texted me saying not to reply until he wakes up, which is annoying. Am I being crazy or something? Like, it's just a fictional character. A literal pixel. Please someone tell me you understand me. I really need help. I'm already emotionally disconnected from this relationship, so I tried opening up to him about something that makes me happy. And this is what I get? Edit. To people thinking I always talk about the crush. Not the case at all. I told him about the crush and try to get him to understand it's something that makes me happy when I'm feeling down to think of my favorite characters. He then proceeded to tell me I can't love him if I love something that isn't real, because he thinks that if they were real, then I would leave him, which isn't true. He then called people who do like anime characters in that way mentally ill, and calling me crazy. He then manipulated me into saying every relationship I'll get into, I will be broken up with over the anime characters. This whole situation is ridiculous in general, and why I would get mad at it. I never once mentioned my hobby to him, so he definitely isn't coming second. Edit 2. We've broken up, and he did try and beg me for another chance, but it was the same BS all over again. I haven't cried at all, and feel a lot better. So thanks everyone. Now for the top advice before reading the update. He's being so immature. Just lose his number and enjoy your anime. I spend my life reading fanfiction, and I'm anime obsessed. But like you say, OP, I know what's real and what's not. Most of the time. My boyfriend is happy, I'm happy. That's all there is to it. It doesn't affect our relationship because why the hell would it? Thank you. It's absolutely ridiculous to me that he even said I don't love him for real if I have a crush. OMG. Lol. Is this the same guy who violated you? Yep. I'm real glad this is over. Girl, get yourself into therapy. You should have broken up with him back then. There's no reason to stay with someone who physically and verbally abuses you this much. You need to find self-worth, so you don't have this problem in the future. He's a freaking idiot. An immature adult who feels threatened by a cartoon. Run like a watercolor painting the rain. You will be so much better off. Throw the whole man away. It's not the anime, it's him. When I was 16, I dated this 19-year-old guy who told me I was too nerdy for him after I went to a Comic-Con. I asked him, oh, okay, are we breaking up then? He started crying like, I can't believe you say that. Why can't you just be different? I ended up staying with him another year, and it was miserable. And now for the update. Hello everyone. I want to say thank you all for helping me with everything. I ended everything with my now ex-boyfriend. He has tried today. Decided to speak with him one last time to let him know I'm absolutely done. Manipulating me and saying things like, you're going to miss me. When you're out in the real world, it's hard to find someone. Also telling me I'm making a big mistake and that I will be alone the rest of my life. I am very proud of myself, and I'm looking into therapy and a protective order against him. He tried to assure me that I'm only making this decision because of the internet, Reddit, and he even told his mother that, and tried to make me look like the bad guy, and that the only reason I'm leaving is because of the internet. He also said that he knows what I want, and that he is sorry for letting his emotions take over that, and saying that's not what a real man does, etc, etc. I just told him to shut the hell up, and come pick his stuff up. Clothes and ring he gave me. He said he doesn't need to because he will eventually give me a new one, implying we will be together in the future, which is ridiculous. He has tried to apologize for the 2 years of BS he put me through. People make mistakes and grow. It took 2 years until I decided it was over for him to grow. He also thinks it's because he has some so-called lack of confidence, and that he used to have confidence because that's the man you met when we started dating. I'm a little witch now. I just laughed in his face that he still doesn't get it. Apparently, he claims he already did a therapy session thing about relationships and mental health. I asked for proof, and he says he deleted it. How stupid. Apparently, the therapist wants us to have 3 weeks to ourselves, and then we can talk to possibly fix things and build a relationship. He doesn't understand that I'm absolutely done. He also said things like, you're committed to me, so you can give me an answer why you don't want to be with me. I don't have answer, besides I was put through too much of his crap, and I don't want to be with him anymore. He can't take that for an answer, and tried saying, well, you made mistakes too. So I decided to block him because I don't owe him anything. I recorded every conversation of him yelling at me in his manipulative ways, and it's humiliating that I was with this person for long. But I learned my lesson. He is blocked, and I'm ready to get on with my life, and I feel better than ever. So, yay me. Now for some top comments. Congratulations! You should be really proud of yourself. I have a daughter, and I hope that when she is older, she is wise enough to exit a bad relationship as you did. Congrats on putting up your boundaries. That's hard, especially for a 2-year relationship. And yeah, that guy sounds like a total jerk. Who says, "You're going to miss me," and "You're making a mistake"? That's shallow and dumb. You've made the right choice. So proud of you. That guy sounds like an idiot. My fiancé knows about all of my anime crushes and constantly sends me memes with them. Haha. Take time to love yourself and feel secure before diving into anything though. Thank you, I will. So proud of you for taking care of yourself. You've done a really difficult thing and you should be proud. It wasn't about the anime thing. It was about him freaking out over losing his control of you. Stay strong and let yourself enjoy your hobbies. You have good things in the future. Am I the a-hole for spending my children's inheritance, leaving almost nothing to them and my grandchildren? What you are about to read is a recent cause of emotional distress for me, regret, and I'm doing this post with the help of my colleague and a son whom insists I'm doing the right thing. I'm 63 years old. I took advantage of better times, financially speaking, and managed to get enough money to save, have a good retirement, and leave a good inheritance for my children. However, their actions in recent years has broken my heart. My oldest daughter is a lawyer, married to an attorney. I have another son who is also a lawyer, a third one became an engineer, and the youngest, who is a salesman. I have been a smoker for many years, and a predictable outcome has finally caught me, so I may not have many years left. After knowing this, my children began stabbing each other's backs, trying to get their inheritance earlier. Initially were frequent verbal discussions that escalated to legal battles. The boiling point came when my daughter forged her brother's signature to take their part of the inheritance while I was being treated at a hospital. Now, none of the siblings can see each other in the eye and only talk through lawyers. Saddened by the situation, decided to spend the money, thinking that if all of it is gone, they would have no more reasons to fight. I donated to charities, bought my wife beauty items, went on vacations with her paying for the better-looking hotel rooms, no planes because of COVID travel restrictions, gave my grandkids expensive gifts, bought my dearest friends and colleagues better equipment to improve their work. We bought a huge TV, prepaid for my funeral, tasted some fine whiskey, among other things. Right now, about 65 to 70% of my savings are now gone. I plan to keep enough for the time I have left and leave my wife a good cash amount. However, my children are noticing that I'm spending a lot and started to ask questions. My daughter figured out what happened on her own. I had no rebuttals, since I'm guilty of all the accusations she made, but then she mentioned that her children will suffer because of my selfish acts. Not only that, but I am cursing all of her grandchildren by doing this. That made me think that my grandchildren shouldn't be punished for their parents' sins, and maybe I was too self-absorbed to realize it sooner. That's my dilemma now. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Hard not the a-hole. What did she accuse you of? Spending your money that you earned on a life you wanted. Inheritance is what you get when someone dies. It's not yours. You're not entitled to it. You don't get to dictate what happens until you actually inherit it. You can, until the day you die, change up who gets what. You got one kid who's not being a prick, leave it to them. Or leave it to your grandkids in a trust their folks can't touch. You can roll it up and smoke it. It's yours. You've done nothing wrong. Heck, just leave it all to your wife. That's how it should go anyway. And I'm sorry you're at this point, man. The big C sucks, assuming that's what you meant. This, OP, the money's yours. You were never under any obligation to leave an inheritance. You've saved it for your entire life, and you get to spend it however you wish. No further conversation needed with your kids. Not the a-hole. Okay, but I do suspect OP is seriously underestimating the potential cost of his wife's elder care. That can be years or decades of mind-boggling expenses, especially if she has to hire someone to do the administrative piece of it because her kids are too backbiting and spiteful. OP, I'm sure your wife appreciates that you're making her final years with you pleasurable. But assuming she isn't facing the same relatively quick decline from physically self-sufficient to dead that you presumably are, you owe her some degree of pragmatism too. Are you saying an attorney, lawyer, engineer, and a salesman can't provide for their children and have to rely on inheritance? Tell them it's your money, and ultimately you aren't responsible for their grandkids' future, and they should be saving up for them. Tell your kids to jog off and do one. It's because they are spending all their money on lawyers to squeeze blood from Iraq. These kids are ridiculous. OP is not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. When will kids learn that they are not entitled to any inheritance? This sense that you're owed money from your parents or grandparents is obscene. If people want to leave awesome to a loved one, that's fine. But no one is entitled to it. I received a large inheritance. I would give it all back to have my dad again. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my 18-year-old daughter she needs to get a job or go to college even though she has a toddler? I have two daughters, April, female 18, and Jade, female 15. I'm a single mom. April and Jade's dad and I got divorced around 13 years ago as he was having an affair. And he's never been in the picture for either of our girls after that. When April was 16, she unexpectedly got pregnant. I took her to counseling to help her organize her thoughts and figure out what she wanted to do. And April decided she wanted to keep the baby. The pregnancy and birth went smoothly, and now I have a grandson, Ollie, male 2. The father is involved, but he and April are no longer together. Ollie stays with his dad every weekend, and the dad's parents give April money to go towards Ollie's expenses. Earlier this year, April graduated high school. She's been taking care of Ollie during the week, but other than that, she hasn't been up too much. She keeps saying she'll start looking for a job, but hasn't even started writing her resume. Besides taking care of Ollie, she just sits at home watching TV. On multiple occasions, April has tried to leave Ollie with Jade so that she can go out partying, which has led to huge arguments. Last week, I talked to April and I told her that she needs to get a job or go to a local community college, and that'll foot the bill for any childcare she needs for it to happen. I told her she needs to get a job or go to college in order to stay here. April got upset and said that she doesn't want a job or go to college. She said she just wants to be a mom. She told me it can wait until Ollie starts school. I told her no, and that she needs to start something so that she can support herself and be an independent adult. April said I'm being unreasonable, and that these things can wait until Ollie's in school full-time. She said that I'm asking her to damage him, and that he needs his mom. It's not that I don't want April and Ollie here. I love them both. I just think I'd be setting a bad precedent by allowing April to continue to stay with me with no job and no education in the making. Not the a-hole. Your daughter had a baby and needs to understand, full stop, that she doesn't just get to be a mom. She's single and living at home with her own mother. She's being unreasonable, selfish, and lazy to expect you to support her while she lazes around unemployed until her child gets to school age. Yep, what she really needs is a part-time job and part-time school. OP's offer to pay for all childcare is too generous in my opinion. If she's old enough to have a baby and decide to keep it, she's old enough to start contributing to the household and her own future. She needs to learn to take care of herself and her baby financially. And she's not going to learn that by staying home all day playing house under mommy's roof without having any real-world experience. Not the a-hole, OP. Not the a-hole. Your daughter has a 2-year-old child yet act like one herself. Teen pregnancy makes me so sad. Yep, she chose to keep this child, so time for her to grow up and take responsibility for him. It doesn't matter what her friends are doing. Her childhood ended when she had a baby. Yep, that 16 and pregnant show really glamorized ruining your future and a chance of being famous for doing nothing. Not the a-hole. April needs to work to support herself, and she's just wasting time that could be used either to work herself up in a job or to get educated. I would tell her, sure, I'd love to sit around and watch TV all day too, but it's a good thing for you that I don't. Let me be clear, I'm not asking. You aren't unique. Single moms everywhere go to work to support their kids. Ollie will just be fine. Also, since you're acting like a child, I'm banning you from the TV. Also, Jade will be paid to babysit. If you can't afford her, then don't ask her. You need to own up to your responsibilities. OP needs to start stepping in and advocating for her other daughter to not be taken advantage of as a free babysitter. Next story. Am I the a-hole for asking my pregnant girlfriend to pay for or replace my meal because she ate all of it? I'm 26 male, been with my girlfriend 29 female for going on 2 years. Before we ever met, she and her sister had been working on her being a surrogate for her sister and her sister's husband. Global things delayed that. We talked about her agreement before we got together and now she's pregnant for them. She's staying with them for now, but she comes over to my place frequently to spend time with me when she's free. It's not so bad, but either she raids my kitchen or she complains nothing looks good and wanted me to keep some of her eventual cravings on hand. My parents came to visit me and asked me if I wanted them to pick anything up for me on their way. They had to pass one of my favorite restaurants to get here, so I said yes. They showed up. We visited with each other. I ate a little bit of what they bought me since I wasn't really hungry yet and put the rest in the fridge for dinner that night. My girlfriend wound up coming over for a bit after they left. She got hungry and wanted a snack and came out with a container I put my leftovers in and goes, "Can I have some of this?" I told her yes. She came back with a plate and she didn't take some of it. She took all of it and put all kinds of stuff on it, so we couldn't even share. I told her that I said she could have some, and she just ate all of what I intended to have for dinner. So I asked her to either send me money to pay for so I could go get some myself, or she could make the drive and get me another order. She didn't want to drive that far, and she didn't think she should have to pay me anything. I told her she should, because it would just be nice of her to do since I get she gets cravings. But it's not like she's pregnant with my kid or we live together. She left at that point, left half the food uneaten, and I wouldn't eat it because of what she put on it. A couple hours later, my mother called. My girlfriend texted her about what happened. My mom gave me an earful about how I have no idea what it's like for my girlfriend right now, and I need to be supportive and let things go. Now for the top comments. Not a whole, regardless of how special the meal was, or your willingness to share it, or how much it cost you, or whatever her condiments did to its palatability. She didn't think anything about taking your whole dinner and not replacing it. Then she used her pregnancy as the excuse. You don't live together, so I'm guessing you don't share expenses or grocery shopping. It's not the norm that all food is automatically shared food. People who fail to read your post will only see pregnant girlfriend and not girlfriend as a surrogate for a family member. That means you're not going to be raising a child together, or any of the other reasons people will throw at you for their outrage. She took your food. You ask her to replace it or throw you some cash. That's reasonable. So wait, she's probably getting paid to be a surrogate or at the very least getting free room and board. And he is expected to pitch in on the situation by being her second pantry? For a pregnancy he has nothing to do with. The snacks are innocent enough, but to just come and stuff your face with no remorse? Forget about it. Getting paid by her sister? I doubt that. She could be that generous and pure of heart to provide this out of kindness, but who voluntarily wrecks their body and not getting anything in return except for good vibes? Not the a-hole. And when you have a disagreement, your girlfriend calls your mom so she can scold you? Dump the girlfriend. Isn't it the most cringe to involve someone's parents in an argument when you're dating? Cringe enough when they involve their own parents, but involving the partner's parents is next level. I could take a wild guess that Opie's mom is overbearing and kind of bossy, so I picked the same kind of woman as a girlfriend, hence why they both walk all over him. But I'm just spitballing. Not the a-hole, your girlfriend is. Being pregnant does not mean you can raid the fridge of a house you don't live in. She should ask prior to her fridge raiding and replace items when asked. Been pregnant, and it is not an excuse to be greedy or rude. Girlfriend definitely needs to pay OP. Not the a-hole. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband I'd rather nobody use my holiday booking out of spite? My 23 female husband, 27 male, and I have been together for 5 years, married for 3. We're both athletic people, or at least I used to be, so we've been planning a holiday for the past year. Without going into major details, it's an expensive holiday by my standards, and it would have involved a lot of hiking. I was looking forward to it. I was in an accident recently, and once again, without going into much detail as it's triggering, lost my leg. It's upsetting, but I'm not in a place to openly speak about it outside of therapy. Obviously, due to this recent restriction, I'm unable to do what we'd planned for our holiday. I hadn't thought about a holiday. It's non-refundable. I had expected my husband to not want to go. Currently, his family haven't asked once how I am, And my family claim it's hard to be around me because they don't know how to support me, whatever. Then yesterday, he said he invited his sister, 19, in my stead. I was baffled because I expected him to support me. He said it's not for 2 months. I'm like, so? Cancel. And plan something we can both do. He said he needs a break, that he's been supporting me. He deserves this and he was also looking forward to it. So I said, you go. But I paid for my spot. So no, she can't use it. He asked if I'm being serious, that it's spiteful. His sister hasn't done anything. I said she hasn't asked me once how I'm doing. She texted me last week for £150. Why should she get a free holiday? Anyway, he's upset, claiming he'll still go and pay for his sister, which he won't, since A, it's expensive, and B, last I checked, it's fully booked. Am I the a-hole? I'd ask family or friends, but I don't feel like texting them. Not the a-hole. Do you have travel insurance? Because your accident should allow you to claim the whole trip cost back, including your traveling companions. Even if you don't, an email and copy of a medical letter would trigger many hotels/airlines to refund you even if this is outside their terms and conditions. Sending good wishes. Definitely try this if you haven't already. My mom had a flight voucher expiring with no options to extend. She emailed explaining she had to have surgery, and they extended it for a year, and she can use it for other locations. Yes, do this. Sometimes people surprise you. Explain your extreme circumstances, and I'm sure they could find a way to work with you. As a physiotherapist, I have worked with patients after amputations, some after accidents. It is such a distressing experience, and it is hard to count all the aspects of your life this impacts. Many young athletic people who lose limbs will enter a total identity crisis on top of the grief that comes with losing a limb, parts of your future, hiking, and all sorts of things. This is really hard to go through. Your husband should be there for you, and probably go to therapy himself to deal with his own feelings. We used to put children who lost limbs in the same training area as soldiers. This helped the children feel better and made them want to train, use their prosthetics, and the soldiers were amazing. You seem so alone in this, and I am so sorry for that. Now, some people mention your husband might be burned out. My boyfriend was severely depressed for about a year. Was it hard for me? Yes. Was it much harder for him? Yep. I stood by him, helped him, comforted him, and showed him how much I love him every day. It was worth it, and it makes me so happy to see him thrive now. Your husband needs to do better. Your husband should not go on that trip without you. Some might say that you could be the bigger person and be happy for him and his sister enjoying said trip, but you lost your leg. You are not, in any way, supposed to be the bigger person here. This is about you. You should be supported. You should feel loved, and like the highest priority right now. Your feelings are so valid, and the things you are going through are immensely hard. You are doing pretty awesome, I think, and I hope you get the help you need. It will get better, but it can take time, and that is okay. Not the a-hole. You have experienced something very traumatic. Things should be about you at the moment.
First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to financially support my in-laws until they show me some respect? I, 32 male, have been with my wife, 28 female, for 6 years, and we have 3 children, 6 male, 4 male, and 2 male. I have a speech impediment. It's nothing too serious. I don't stutter or anything like that, and people are definitely able to understand what I say. Since people suck, I was ridiculed because of it for basically my entire childhood by almost everyone I knew, including my parents. Of course, people still laugh at and ridicule me for my disability, but since I have gained confidence as I matured, I am less tolerant of it. One of the reasons I got contact with my parents and stand up for myself a lot more. My in-laws, like most people, enjoy making fun of and ridicule me for the way I sound. I have, of course, told them I am not comfortable with it, but they still do it. Eventually, I just started ignoring them or leaving the room whenever they do it. Recently, my dog, which I had for 5 years, passed away, so it's been a hard past few weeks for me, and I haven't had the best temper this week. Yesterday morning, my wife's parents came to my house to see our child. They were still sleeping when this happened. While we were having breakfast, they asked me if I could lend them some money since they have been having a difficult year. Obviously reasons why. And literally 30 seconds after they asked for money, my in-laws made a joke about my voice. At this point, I was at loss for words and simply told them to bug off and to learn some respect if they want money. All day, my wife has been begging me to reconsider, saying that what they said was just a harmless joke and that she's sorry if it offended me. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. What they said was just a harmless joke, and yet it sure seems to have harmed their chances for getting a free loan. For their harmless joke, they can be harmless broke. For their harmless joke, they can be harmless broke. For being mean to our bloke and his disability they like to poke. Not the a-hole. Also, couldn't resist adding to the awesome rhyme. Not the a-hole. Donate however much they ask for to a charity that helps kids with speech issues, since they're so bothered by them. Oh, I like the suggestion, as long as Soapy could afford it. Your wife is the biggest a-hole in the story, and I am upset on your behalf. Absolutely not the a-hole, and stand your ground. Maybe suggest to your wife that she do some self-reflection, or get some therapy for her unacceptable behavior too. Yep, having the victim apologize to the jerk to make peace is a selfish thing of the wife to do. Not the a-hole. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my boyfriend a hypocrite when he told me to stop spending so much time in my crocheting? Yes, I know this sounds ridiculous, but he's fuming with me at the moment and I can't get through to him. Okay, well, I crochet a lot. Like a lot. It's my hobby and it helps me deal with my really bad anxiety. My partner doesn't like that I do it so much. Just to set some background, I work full-time, and when I'm not working, I make sure to clean up our house, make some dinner, ensure the dog has had a walk, just general household upkeep, before I sit down on the sofa and crochet. When my boyfriend came up to me today and said that he's unhappy with how much time I spend crocheting, I'm not going to lie, I laughed a bit, and basically said you spend more time playing games in one day than I do crocheting in a week. He really did not like that answer. I told him that before I crochet, I ensure that all my household duties are done, that dinner is made, etc. My boyfriend works part-time from home, and when he's not working, he's playing games. Just getting him to clean the bathroom once a week is a task in itself. He's fuming with me now and saying I'm attacking him and asking if I just want him to stop doing what makes him happy. I said that's not the case at all. Then he said that I'm just angry with him because he gets to work from home. Also not the case. I work in a brain rehabilitation unit. I've always enjoyed my job. And obviously, it's not a career where I can just work from home. I called him a hypocrite with how he's trying to tell me off for doing something too much when he himself can't even get basic chores done. Now he's got to huff with me. And anytime I try to make conversation, he cusses me out. Lol. Am I the a-hole for calling him a hypocrite? Was asked to include this comment to why he came up to me in the first place about this. I probably should have mentioned his reasoning. The reason I mentioned the chores is because that's what he told me I should be doing more of. He said instead of spending time into crocheting, I could be using that time to do more impactful and useful things. Like I could be cleaning up more, or doing more laundry, or finding more fun dishes to make. I'm Polish and predominantly cook Polish food. He's never been very on board with that. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. He has a lot more free time than you, but barely gets any house chores done, spends more time on his hobby, and criticizes you for having something you enjoy that helps you cope with anxiety? Tell me, Opie, why are you with him? We've been together for a long time. He was my first boyfriend when I moved here to UK from Poland. He let me stay with him when I needed a place. I'm generally happy in this relationship. I don't at all mind cleaning and cooking as I am used to it, but there are just a few things that we disagree on, and this is one of them clearly. Not sure why my comment is being disliked. Apologies if I said something wrong. He should not be cursing you out. Ever. Seriously, that is a huge red flag, Opie. Do not ignore that, please. I've seen too many friends and family deal with crap like this. It just makes my blood boil. Not the a-hole, by the way. He's probably just worried because we all know crocheting is a gateway craft. You think you're going to make a blanket or two, then it's a doily for every surface and a cover for every appliance and tissue box. It's all fun and games until you both end up in a head-to-toe crocheted matching outfits. It's a slippery slope from hobby to addiction. Sarcasm, not the a-hole. That made me laugh. It's true. Holy smokes, throw the whole boyfriend away. He's gone bad. Anyone who told me I should be doing chores while he plays video games would be out on his butt so fast he'd think he was magicked out there. Why would you put up with someone like that? Not the a-hole. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my brother-in-law's public apology? I, male 46, lost my wife 13 years ago in a car accident. I was the one driving, and I got out of the hospital with a severely injured knee. I had a dislocated shoulder, and my nose was broken, aside from the post-traumatic stress disorder that I'm still dealing with till today. I took care of our 2 kids alone after her family, specifically her brother, blamed me. And he told everyone saying it was my fault and lied about me being drunk that night. Everything was clear. I wasn't the one at fault, but still. Her brother isolated me and turned everyone to hate me. I was kicked out of the house and they allowed only the kids to come over. I didn't want my kids to hear what their uncle said about me, but I couldn't stop them from seeing the kids, especially after my brother-in-law said he'd get the law involved if I don't let the family see the kids. Years went by and I haven't got married again. I simply wanted to focus on my children and my own well-being. I was honest with my kids about their mother's death. We were in therapy together, and that's when the kids said that they believed their uncle when he told them it was my fault. This caused a huge argument between me and their uncle, and the kids ended up seeing a different therapist. I couldn't handle hearing my own kids repeating their uncle's lies. I went no contact with the family, but my kids, as they got older, they continued to visit. I respected that. My daughter 20 moved out and cut contact. My son 18 went to stay at a friend's place. My sister-in-law is the only one who supports me. She too thinks their uncle made them resent me. They don't want to see me nor even visit. Despite showing, my daughter still believed her uncle and kept blaming me, and it's already been a year since I've seen my kids. It's devastating, and it's more than I can handle. Now, my brother-in-law has been sick for over a year. I've been told recently that he wants to publicly apologize to me in front of everyone for what he did in the past, but I refused. His sister talked to me about how he wants to mend a relationship, but I told her I'm not interested. Others started pressuring me, including my own family. They're arguing with me, calling me grudge holder and a bitter person. I just refused to continue to talk, but they're not dropping it. They said I needed to do it for my children, but I honestly don't think that it'll fix anything. I don't think his apology will make up for all the years of struggling, trying to fix what he ruined while dealing with my own issues. He always took pride in turning my own kids against me, so I don't know why he wants to apologize now. Not the a-hole. He destroyed your family with his lies. Tell them that when your children come to you and tell you that they know that their uncle lied and the accident was not your fault, then you will consider accepting an apology. And I only say consider because you can never get back the years that he stole from you, and you have every right to never speak to him again. The thing that you need to push back with on everyone pressuring you is that your children need to be explicitly told that they were lied to and have got their father out of their lives over that lie. Tell them that when your children come to you and tell you that they know that their uncle lied and the accident was not your fault, then you will consider accepting an apology. This is the best advice. You don't need his apology. You know the truth. He should apologize to your children and convince them. That is the only thing that does matter. Edit. Not the a-hole for obvious reasons. He wants your forgiveness before facing his creator. He wants a cheap atonement. You must not make it so easy for him at all. Not the a-hole. Let the brother-in-law apologize to the children that he used to destroy their relationship with their father. No deathbed mea culpas for brother-in-law. He destroyed your family, and now his conscience can keep him company with a continual reminder of just how awful his actions were. He's not dying, but he has health issues that are slowing him down. I don't know the reason or the purpose of his apology, and I don't even know what my children think about this. No one mentioned them, and my daughter moved hours away, so I don't know if she's even aware of what her uncle is doing right now. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole if I don't want to give my parents pocket money? I'm 20 with 2 younger siblings who are currently still in high school and middle school. I also live in a third world country. The pandemic's hit us pretty hard, but we've been pretty close to being poor since I was 13 to 14 because my father messed around with gambling. My parents are divorced. My father, 45, is currently unemployed. My mother, 44, has her married since, and she gets her money from her current husband, 54, who is working abroad. I have 2 half-brothers from her new marriage. I am the only one earning regular each month because I freelance and I still have clients. I earn on average $700 to $1,000 a month. Freelancing, never really certain with the amount. Lately, I've been the one who's paying for most of the bills. Rent, because we don't have a house and we can't qualify for a mortgage. My siblings and my own tuition fees, etc. When I have extra money, I get some things for my family if they ask for it, / been talking about it. Like a new phone for my younger sister because she's had hers for years and it's dying, a sewing machine for my mother, etc. They never cost more than $200. I'm only 20. This freelance thing isn't a lucrative career that will make me rich. I've been bordering poor almost half of my whole life until recently. Think, not homeless, but we have no car, no home, nothing to our name. We're always renting, moving, living on a day-to-day basis. We still don't have any assets right now. I want to enjoy my earnings too. While I'd love to give my parents some pocket money, am I really obligated to? My mother told me I should give some money to my father because he's not earning anything recently. Isn't it enough for me to help with some household bills? She made it sound as if it's the morally correct thing to do because I'm earning now, and I felt irritated. It's the guilt that's eating me even though I don't feel like I'm wrong. Is it selfish if I don't want to give pocket money to my parents? Am I the a-hole for feeling / thinking this way? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You haven't given any reason why your dad can't work or try to be an adult. He needs to step up, take care of his gambling addiction, which is where his pocket money would wind up, and at least try to support himself. You're doing so much for your family. Please don't get guilted into doing more than you're comfortable with. And in the infamous words of Reddit, don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Don't get so caught up in taking care of adults who refuse to act like adults that you end up hurting yourself. If the mom keeps prying, say that you will, but you will stop paying the bills. Watch how fast she freaks out. Also, $700 to $1,000 a month isn't a ton. Enough to pay the bills and a little extra, but not much. Why can't the dad get a job? You're doing practically everything, paying for so much. Don't fall for this. They want to make you the one to be responsible for everything so they don't have to do anything. Don't feel guilty. I suggest that you make plans on moving out. This feels like a toxic situation. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You're already providing above and beyond, and your dad is currently dealing with the consequences of his own actions. I'm confused on this situation though. Are you living with your mom, sister, and step-siblings? And paying full rent even though your mom is receiving money from her husband? How is your mom financially contributing? And does your sister work? It's very confusing for me too. I'm currently living with my mother and siblings, but my father will be moving in with us too. Yeah, they're divorced. This sounds so fake, and I don't know anymore. None of my siblings are old enough to work where I live. There really is no part-time for teens or anything like that. The money my mother gets from her current husband goes to her 2 children with him mostly, and sometimes she buys groceries / food. Not the a-hole. You are covering rent and more. It's more your place than your mother's now since her husband is not providing. There is an issue there because you're supposed to building your own life, not supporting them. 3 months, Mom. I need to move out and make my own life. Best of luck. Best of luck with your own life too. Edit. Thank you so much for the answer and advice, everyone. I actually almost cried because I've been labeled as selfish a lot for not wanting to do something along with I'm your family / I raised you, why can't you do this for us thing that I've known to be manipulative, but I can't shake the guilt off. I'm trying to change my mindset and stop feeling guilty, plus stand up for myself a bit more.